Welcome to Talk to Brazil with Tom Rioch, the business connector to business in Brazil. Welcome to Talk to Brazil, the Business Connection, a leading business podcast talking about business in the world with successful business experts. I'm Tom Rioch, an American known as the King of Networking, connecting people from my studio in Brazil. Today's guest is Kumbirai Chipadza. He's the founder of CEO DeutschConnect, joining us from Berlin in Germany. Kumbirai Chipadza is the Ortel African Entrepreneur of the Year, Germany 2022 winner, and is now the co-founder of Kuchera Global. Kuchera assists mining operators to optimize transport efficiencies. So Kumbirai, welcome again to Talk to Brazil. We first talked in March of last year, right? So give us an update of your latest endeavor with Kuchera.
Thanks a lot, Tom, the king of networking. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you again. Yeah, and greetings to everyone. So Kuchera, about 5 months ago, I started as an entrepreneur in residence at BIM Berlin, which is the company founder for interlogistics giant, the Boima Group. Mm-hmm. So within that, as an entrepreneur in residence, you're given different tasks or problems within the logistics sector to be able to solve. And at each step, you then also get, you can go ahead or you can actually be told to quit. So it's a 3-month process of evaluation every month.
Yes. So it's a go, no go, right?
Yeah, it's a go, no go. So every month you have to go through some sessions whereby you have to do some validation. You have to show that there's market for your product, there's validation of the problem itself, and then come up with a plan. So I then worked together with my now co-founder, Mtolisi Sibia, who's based in South Africa. And yeah, that was the birth of Kuchera. Kuchera is a Shona word, Shona from Zimbabwe, where I come from, which means to mine or to extract. Okay. So actually, this is what we do by extracting data, which then optimizes fleet operational efficiency.
So literally data mining.
Both, we took the sort of the cliche of data mining, but also the actual fact that we are working in the mining industry.
Right.
So the word then covers both the data mining and the actual mining itself.
Yeah, because mining is crucial anywhere in the world, right? There are huge operations. Generally speaking, they're 24/7, day and night, very intense. Highly energized and mechanized, and hopefully things never stop, right?
True. And as the world is revolving, so even we now talk about smart mining, we talk about the future of mining, which also has to be environmentally conscious. We talk about the carbon emission print, all that. So these are all factors that in 2023, we have to be cognizant of in the way that we do mining or any other business as well.
Well, and you're in Germany right now, and in Germany, throughout Europe, you have obviously a focus on sustainability, and much of what you offer really goes back to that point, right?
True. That's very true. So maybe just to give you a focus of the key problems that we realized that mining operators were facing. Number one was the unscheduled downtime, whereby almost 10 hours per truck every month. Just from the research we did, there were high maintenance costs of up to 60% of those costs come from the transport. They were shortened lifespan. Trucks are going into ancillary service in less than six years. I talked about lost productivity because of a lack of standardized monitoring and unified KPIs within the value chain. Also, the environmental impact, which I talked about earlier, the regulatory drive to reduce carbon footprint. But lastly, and almost most importantly, personnel and property safety, accidents that are happening in the sites So we came up with a telematic solution that addresses these key pain points for most or all mining operators. So that was how, so we did a validation in the market across the world. We interviewed different mining houses. And then after that, we then came up with the solution. So we want to solve these pain points for miners through a fleet optimization and productivity intelligence solution. So we do not only collect the data, but more importantly, we provide business intelligence from the data that the mining operators can then be able to use for predictive maintenance, productivity intelligence, alternate hauling models, or smart route planning. So our solution monitors the fleet health, the operator behavior, machine duty, site data, and a few other important correlating things within the value chain.
And I see from the marketing information you sent me, this is all in a box. It's sort of a, I don't say it's plug and play, but it's carry and works, right?
Yes, actually plug and play, because we did such a way that, you see, with most mining houses, they have different OEMs. We have similar solutions, but these only work for their machinery. So ours is agnostic, plug and play. It's easy to use, it's portable, and more importantly, it gives real-time insights. So this is a situation whereby the driver is being given real-time insight. The same data is being also transferred to the mining operator in the office. So they can be able to tell the driver that if he was doing overspeeding at a certain place, they can be able to caution him. Or then if they feel that he's using the wrong gear at a certain angle, they can already be able to give them these real-time insights. So this for us was something that we not only made because it was our idea, but we also had verified with the market itself.
Well, and these points what you just pointed out, talking about the grade, the speed, uh, the operator's usage, you're back to safety. Because what I guess you do see from history, accidents happen because deviation.
Exactly. Accidents happen, and we are human beings. So human beings, sometimes we have someone, let's say someone is depressed, someone has their own issues, or just negligence, for example. So these are things that we also want to try to assist the human side by also giving real-time data from telematics that can be able to help the miners be able to optimize their fleet management and their productivity as well. I mean, I'll just give you an example, like replacing of tires to increase trips, or schedule of engine service, because the downtime that miners have due to unscheduled maintenance is very costly per truck, per load, or per operation as a whole. So you find that some mines are actually still having manual messages to say, okay, now we have a breakdown. Then they would wait for the person, the engineer who's supposed to attend to that breakdown, maybe 3-4 hours. And imagine the lost time in all this. So with our solution, we're able to give real-time insights to all the decision makers in the value chain.
So really, you're capturing this information from machines, all right, and we're talking about mining equipment at the locations. So the mining operation at a pit would set up the box and be able to capture all of the information.
Yes, so our clients, the mining companies, would be able to have in real time in their office a map of everything that's happening, like the fleet health overview, the speed and brake degradation, mileage and number of trips, carriage utilization, tire health, fuel availability, oil gauge, and vehicle stability. So these are all information that the mining operator has access to. while on the other hand, he has the ability to tell the driver, give instruction where necessary.
So really, you have a control tower.
Pardon?
You have a control tower, as if it were an airplane control tower in an airport. So you have an operator, a major operator, working your solution, right? Working your
Yes.
magic box, and he's interacting with all the information he's receiving.
Well, we hadn't put it like that, but the more you say it, it actually makes, a control tower. Yeah, exactly.
And that control tower is controlling the operation. But back to the financial side, and when we're talking about, where's the money, where's the cost, where's the bottom line, that's a fundamental part. So if you can see all of that real time, that's key to any operation.
Yes, that's key to any operational, because one thing we also realize that in terms of KPIs, the driver might have different KPIs to that of the operator. But now, if they can all be able to see some of the key things in real time together, it then helps them in terms of them both meeting their KPIs.
So now how do you offer this solution? Do you sell the box? Do you offer the box? Do you help set up the box? What is your role now with this, with Kuchera?
Okay, so currently we are engaged in a pilot project whereby we are actually offering the box, the solution, for free to mining operators across the world that would like to try out our solution and then be able to give us feedback. So we're in the process of starting the pilot project. We already have in Africa some mining partners, and now we want to move from Africa to the global stage, more in terms of South America, Latin America, as well as in Asia. But we believe that our solution can be used in different industries across the world.
And I can say that Brazil is a mining country. We talk about extraction. It's been in mining for, say, centuries, but it has gotten, and some of the most advanced mining technology is here. And much of that technology is shared in other parts of the world. So many of the mining companies, they're here, they're everywhere, here, Australia, Canada. And back to the KPIs, back to the points that you mentioned, those things, I don't want to say they're all the same, they become very similar. So operations are very, very similar.
Yes, and I want to give an example when we talk more in terms of Brazil, how our solution can be able to assist. There are sometimes in Brazil, there are also areas of extreme environments, which can be very difficult to navigate with challenging terrain such as steep slopes, rocky surfaces, and narrow paths. So with the real-time data on the vehicle's location, speed, and inclination, it can help the driver navigate safely and efficiently. Also, the issue of payload optimization, which was very important to most of our potential clients when we did our validation. They were very, very insistent they want to maximize the payload capacity because it reduces the number of trips needed to transport the material, which also then lowers operating costs. And in most mining zones, they don't really have a solution that shows the load.
Because I would guess it's hard to understand how much is in one of those trucks.
Exactly. So take it from a point of view whereby maybe 2 tons or 3 tons are being lost, whereby we could have used a solution that could have shown that no, driver or operator, you need to put 2 extra tons. So that is very, very important, especially when you're looking at it not from a daily perspective, but from a year on year.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that's probably crucial because I really couldn't imagine how do you understand how much you're putting into a truck. You can see it's full, but it may not be to its capacity weight-wise.
Exactly. So, I mean, we are also working with extremely good engineers, developers. Germany is a leader in terms of technology. So we are proud to be selling a German-made solution to the global audience. Yeah.
Well, very good. I want to congratulate you on that because I remember when we talked last time, and really DeutschConnect, you were highly involved in. Actually, you've gotten to the point where you mentioned where you wanted to be, of offering interpretership programs, all right, offering opportunities for Africans in Germany back and forth. So it's really interesting to see how that's come to fruit right now. And I can see it going through you mentioned the Belmer group. Actually, what they do is to help set up businesses. And it's sad, it's a go, no go. And in today's world, to be in that type of an environment where you can reach solutions that are needed and create a company and make it work. So I think really you have come a long, long way.
No, thanks a lot, Tom. And that's true. I mean, for you to become an entrepreneur in residence at BIM Berlin, you go through an application process, you go through interviews. So without DeutschConnect, I would not have achieved that. You know, that is the reality. The experience from DeutschConnect, the entrepreneurial experience that I got, the challenges that I got were also helped me when I got into BIM Berlin. I think one important thing also about BIM Berlin, Tom, it's not only in Germany. It's a global opportunity for any entrepreneurs or people who want to found companies from across the world, as long as they are in the logistics sector. And I'll also be able to give people the links. They are always looking for exciting young people that have solutions. I mean, already they have about 9 startups that have been born through the project. Some are within the space of airport baggage. Some are involved in making things easier in terms of trade, logistics trade in different countries. So there are different portfolios, but they're all in the logistics sector. So, and you meet so many exciting people from across the world building solutions together. I mean, you know, it's like being part of your own Silicon Valley in Germany, despite being in different parts of the world. Some things that we read or watched online, you know,
right,
through the BIM Berlin project, I can honestly say to you, I've encountered such situations. Yeah.
I find that exciting because actually yesterday I interviewed a person on one of my other podcasts, and the focus of that interview was community in the success for business. But she really expanded on the word community. The community, most we think of local, but today we're all part of a global community. And what you just mentioned is the fact. We may be located specifically in a place. I'm in Brazil, you're in Germany right now, you're from Africa, I'm from the United States. But nothing is anywhere, everything is everywhere. And solutions, the thing to have is what you've created and what she mentioned in her pod, is community. And we create the community and networking, back to what I think I do, is to help create the community of people and help to project people throughout the world. Because that's part of the community. We can become allies one to another. I don't necessarily have to sell what you make or you buy whatever, but the important thing is that we know what you're doing. I actually found, if you remember, I found you through a person in Australia.
Exactly. So
that's very true. When we go around the world, you know, the community is just all over the place. It isn't anywhere. So I think, well, I'm here. Well, we are, but it's a world.
That's very true. I mean, and I think I like what the person said from yesterday, community, because what is also important is community can mean different things. In this case, we're talking of community of entrepreneurs or community of people that are into solutions.
Right.
So, and I'll tell you, this was actually one of the main things that also helped me get into the program, was that they viewed me as someone with great networking skills, someone who is a stakeholder engager, of which that is why I'm talking to you again today, Tom, because Brazil and your network, Americas and all that is things that we don't have, but we know how crucial that is. So it just comes again to you being the king of networking and the value that is created in just having so much of a network as well.
Well, a network, anything, knowledge, and I'm not saying networking, knowledge is only good if you put it to work. Advice is only good if people apply it, right?
True.
What you've gone through and have said and done, it's successful because it's the no-go. When you came to points in your life of failure, of no-go, you transformed that into go. I have, other people have. It's a very simple, complex situation at the same time.
Yeah.
And nothing is instantaneous. But what you have, and I commend you again for that, is persistence. Because if you don't believe in yourself, others won't believe in you. And this was also a point in the podcast yesterday, that other people tend to believe us more than even our relatives, even our friends, or even close business associates.
Don't even start on that road, because I actually wrote something along those lines. I think last week when I was saying, entrepreneurship can be a very lonely journey,
right?
Especially much so for some of us. Maybe I wouldn't want to say from Africa, but I would say maybe those that don't come from wealth, whereby you don't even have friends and family that not only support you, but can be able to put the initial capital into the business. So, when we talk of entrepreneurship or startups, we talk in terms of raising capital. We say you have savings, then you have friends and family, then you go to investors. So imagine you don't have savings, you don't have friends and family. It's a very difficult, steep road. And most of the time, because of this, you don't even have a network or a support system that can be able to take you to the next step. Some people in other fortunate countries or with those from wealth can be able to have a runway, an 18-month runway, 24 months, where everything is secure and you can be able to build, not thinking of your next meal or thinking of your rentals. So I just wanted to when you mentioned that part of friends and family, it was something that when I wrote it, a lot of young entrepreneurs, they all came and, were commenting how they've gone through that experience as well.
Mm-hmm. It's natural. And I'm going to say it's good or bad, but that's it. It's part of progression. But what I do feel, and you have and many others do, you need to believe in yourself. Today's success, obviously we need the community, that's important, but it starts with you, it starts with me. And we have to make ourselves, we have to sell ourselves, and we have to believe in ourselves. Others will once we do. And obviously having the opportunity to hear the stories, and why are we speaking again today? I had the opportunity from a person who suggested that I speak with you. And that was more than a year ago, right?
True.
But following up on the suggestions, again, following up on information that people pass, because in networking we get referrals constantly. We don't always act on them.
Yeah.
We don't always act on them. And so I'm a believer of that. We're allies, and I'm personally happy to see your progression
Thank you.
in an area, obviously, that offers everything that you said that it offers. So just keep going, keep moving, keep doing.
Thanks a lot, Tom. And maybe just another point on that. So I grew up in a small mining town called Chipadza. And that is where the person who connected us, firstly, Priscilla, we also grew in the same area. So for today to be able to have a solution that can be used in that small mining town where I grew up, we have a big mine called Mimosa Mine. We have a big mine, it's platinum mine. We've got a Muroa Diamonds mine, a big mine as well. And for me to be able to speak to those same people speaking from Germany with a solution made in Germany that can solve their problems, it's a humbling point, very humbling point. I'm going to send you a video on YouTube as well, where you can see mining in my hometown in the 1960s, almost 100 years ago. And I'll send you that. And now we'll show now where we are going with Kuchera almost a century later. So that was a position of humility.
No, but that's fantastic. And I'm sure Priscilla's going to love hearing this story. I mean, she's in Australia, as I mentioned. And Australia, everything can be used. So I think that's networking and mining are the same thing. Just keep digging.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm going to use that one.
Well, I want to thank you again, Kumbirai, for being part. Where can our listeners find you now?
So so as usual, the listeners can find me on LinkedIn, Kumbirai Chipadza. That's my LinkedIn. Yeah, we have, if people want to know more about Kuchera, it's www.kucheraglobal.com. But they can also find it on LinkedIn as well. It's also there on LinkedIn.
Very good. Well, thanks again. Congratulations and more success, okay?
Thanks a lot, Tom, and cheers in Brazil.
All right, and for our listeners, you can find, as we mentioned, it's Kumbirai Chipadza. It's Kumbiria. The last name is Chipazda. You find him on LinkedIn. And Kuchera Global, that's Kuchera Global. www.kucheraglobal.com. I'd like to thank our audience and our sponsor, Focus MI Market Intelligence. Focus MI specializes in market research for the Brazilian agricultural market. More about them on their site, focusmi.com. Remember, when you talk to Tom, you talk to Brazil and the world. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Tom Rioch on Talk to Brazil, the business connector to Brazil.